Week 8, I have bad news, guys. There's no game of the year this week.
I know. It's such a bummer.
Zero generational matchups?
It's blowout week 8 here. There's a lot of spreads over a touchdown or around a touchdown. We got, even though you're hearing this on Friday, the Bills were 9.5 favorites over the Bucs. We'll see what happened there. Dallas is a touchdown over the Rams. Philly, a touchdown over Washington. Miami, 9.5 over the Patriots. Baltimore, 9.5 over Arizona. Kansas City, only a touchdown over Denver. Kind of weird. And Chargers, -9 over Chicago. You're telling me that the Chargers are 9 points better than the Bears, but the Chiefs are not 7 points better than the Broncos?
What's going on there, Vegas? Well, what are you doing, Vegas?
Maybe because the Chiefs are on the road. Oh, wait, no. The Chiefs have won their last 16 games against the Broncos.
Not sure what's going on there.
So, I don't know. It's also just weird. There are a quarter of the league is starting a backup quarterback this week. A quarter. And then if you just include like 40% of the teams in the league, like 13 of 32, either have a backup or a player who's in their first year as a starter, which I think actually does go a long way to explaining why. I don't know. It's just like big spreads and also just like, I don't know, this sloppy play. All the sacks are up and all the numbers we've been talking about, how points are lower than ever, yards per attempt. Like there's so many things going into it, but the quarterbacks are younger than ever. But again, like there's just less experience. It's all backups and freaking rookie guys.
I feel like we're going to stanza it. This is going to be the week that everybody just plays beautiful.
Yeah, break the scoring record. And we're just like, you know what? All these guys don't have to come back. I will say, I think it's worth going through a bunch of the backup quarterback situations and kind of just a fantasy check-in of just like, are we going to play these guys or not? Starting with, I mean, the only one really that matters. Brock Purdy, cult leader extraordinaire, in concussion protocol this week. Mm-hmm. Probably not going to play. They're not ruling it out yet.
This is like a classic Purdy situation, man. He's like already back at practice. It's Thursday. So we're recording this Thursday afternoon. He came back to practice. And I think that means there's 5 steps in a concussion protocol. I think I saw on Twitter that, someone said, and you can't lie on Twitter, that means he's in the 4th stage of concussion protocol already. Is that true?
I think it means 3rd.
This is wild.
3rd
or 4th.
Either way, I think the point is that it's possible. I personally I don't think he's going to play. And if he does play, Brock Purdy would be the only player, though, so far who has been concussed on a Sunday and then returned 7 days later. So there's two things. Either Brock Purdy's the first player under the new rules who, with the fastest return ever, or they're just like Sam Darnold's going to start and they don't want the other team to just know that and they want the other team to prepare for Purdy. I'm going to take the option 2. So with that said, I think Sam Darnold is going to play. We're
excited about this.
For the Niners in fantasy, it doesn't matter. It's like Christian McCaffrey going to play. Debo's out. Brandon Ayuk are going to play. It's a must start. George Kittle's a must start. But Sam Darnold, Craig compared him on Bill Simmons' podcast to Nick Foles, this potential this year. Here's my very important, this is how I feel about Darnold playing. Everyone has to decide right now if you're in or out on Sam Darnold. You cannot watch him play and then make up your mind. It's like, I'm in, and I need it. Like, you need to decide right now on the line in the sand. Where are you? In what side of history are you on? Everyone has to do it right now with Sam Darnold.
This is like Ben Affleck in The Town coming in and being like, I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people. Give me a fucking answer.
And Jeremy Renner, whose car we taking?
We have to decide right now forever if we're in on Sam Darnold.
I'm in on Sam. Join me or not.
I'm in.
Craig. Whose car we taking?
Here's what I'll say here. What do Niners fans want? Because on the surface, at face value, you would expect a Niner fan wants all their quarterbacks to play well. However, if Sam Darnold plays well, that kind of hurts the legacy of their Lord and Savior, Brock Purdy.
Unambiguously.
Right? Unambiguously. So
this is what we're
if they come out here and beat the Bengals 30-13 and Darnold throws for 310 and 3 touchdowns and looks crisp, then what, Niners fans? You will have to decide. You will have to decide what side you're on. So I'm very curious to see what happens with Sam. I'm rooting for him. Again, I'm not anti-Purdy. I'm just anti-Hall of Fame Purdy. I think Purdy is very competent and good at his job. But look, the stat that Heifetz loves that I've never forgotten, the quarterback with the most yards of all time in the first 16 games of their career is Patrick Mahomes. The second quarterback on that list is Nick Mullins from the San Francisco 49ers.
Where is Nick Mullins now?
Vikings backup.
Yeah,
to Kirk
Minnesota.
Oh,
yeah.
It's funny that Craig called him Nick Foles because obviously when Nick Foles came in and then played way better than Carson Wentz or whatever, that created just a shit storm in that building. They ultimately went back to Wentz and pretty unambiguously.
I mean, they're going to go back to
remind me of the timeline.
But Wentz is a former failed top 3 quarterback draft pick.
Yeah.
And he lost his job to a journeyman Nick Foles. This is the opposite. This is the journeyman's the starter, and the top 3 draft pick is the guy in the back. It's all also. The real comparison I will say between Nick Foles, the muddled metaphor, is that Nick Foles for the Eagles was Big Dick Nick and Brock is Big Cock Brock.
Right.
So that, that's the key here. So it's like Sam, I don't know where the rhyme is with Sam Darnold.
I don't think there is one.
Bam, bam.
Big ham,
I don't
big
know.
ham Sam.
Bad face.
Bad face. So I actually do think Sam Darnold, I think it would be funniest if the Niners lost the game, but Darnold played great. That would be the worst case scenario for Niners fans.
But like, do Niners fans want Darnold to play really well if that means they'll have to concede on Brock Purdy being a top 5 quarterback in the league? Do they want that?
They probably want him to win the game.
Look inward. What do you want? Think about it.
We're just going to think about it. Get in the car.
They're not going to tell you the truth, Craig.
For fantasy purposes, are you starting all the same players you would have if Sam Darnold is starting? I think I am.
Yeah, except for Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to bench and I'm going to play Sam Darnold. But other than that, yeah, you play McCaffrey and Ayuk and George Kittle. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there.
I can't wait. It might be game of the year.
That is the game of the week right there.
Game of the year.
Right. Wait, Heifetz, right now. Gun to your head. Sam Darnold or Joe Burrow, more fantasy points?
Dude, this is crazy to say, but I think Darnold's going to have a rushing touchdown.
Oh my God.
I just think Darnold's going to have a rushing touchdown. He had like
DK,
5 in
think?
the first. Last time he was a starter, he had 5 touchdowns rushing.
Burrow?
Like he led the league after a month.
Burrow's the 27th quarterback in fantasy right now. I think he's averaging 11 points a game. Playing the Niners.
It's like leading.
Let me
leading
ask
San
you it
Francisco.
another way. Let me ask you this another way. If they're on the 4-yard line and Sam Darnold is a read option, are they going to be like, yeah, hand it off to McCaffrey? I think they're going to be like, yeah, Darnold, you run it in. And they'll like, see if he can. I don't know. I don't know if they're necessarily going to.
Why do you think they're going to do that? McCaffrey's like the best running back in the NFL.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying not the Niners. I'm saying if the Niners are read optioning the defense and the defense defenders
they're going to force.
Are they going to like spend all week being like, yeah, we want McCaffrey to beat us? I'm like, I'm kind of going to go ahead and say they're probably going to prefer Darnold take the handoff and force Darnold to keep it.
Yeah.
So I kind of think he's going to get a rushing touchdown.
I mean, as always, I'm rooting for content. So Sam Darnold playing well would be amazing for us. So that's really all that matters.
Speaking of content, Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill is out. We're going to get allegedly some mix of Malik Willis and Will Levis, but no, that's not true. We're getting Will Levis is going to be the quarterback for the Titans playing the Atlanta Falcons. I don't even know where to start. This says everything. We got the Titans are wearing these throwback Houston Oilers uniforms. They've been trying to get the rights to forever.
Pretty sweet.
They look incredible.
They look great. Yeah.
This is Will Levis, who I don't know what he's most famous for, putting mayonnaise in coffee and pretending he did it. We got like Arthur Smith, who used to be the Titans offensive coordinator, saying climate change. I don't even know where to start now. Where do you guys want to go?
Start with Levis. Let's start with Levis.
DK,
I got to be honest with you guys.
DK, I want a refresher on Levis. I want your scouting report.
Well, it's funny that you say that because there have been several points during the season where I literally couldn't remember Will Levis's name. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I'm like, I studied this guy for like 6 months for the draft. And then he comes into the league and he's like 3rd string quarterback on the Titans. I literally forgot his name. There's like one of those names that I'm like, he doesn't look like a Will. He doesn't seem like a Will to me.
Also, Levis is a last name I've never heard before. Also, Levis is not a word. So you're just like, it's just like a collection of letters that you've never thought of before.
And also,
it's like trying to memorize like a code of something.
Bill always says your head is like a nightclub. And there's only so many people allowed in once you hit like 40 years old. Like only so many people allowed in the nightclub.
Doesn't he
like,
not really? Yeah, he doesn't really look like a Will. There's no association here. I don't get it. Anyways, I went back and reread my scouting report on him because all memory had been like erased.
You're like,
from
who
my
wrote
brain.
this?
He was my QB4 in this draft. I was a little bit low on him. So gotta be honest, don't have high hopes for him this week. Yeah,
but
he's got a strong arm, like
a
whip-like arm. He's really tough, physical. There was a point in his college career early on when he was at Penn State, and he was like sort of almost like a Taysom Hill style quarterback. Like he's athletic, he runs around.
Taysom Hill because he couldn't win the starting job at Penn State.
Yeah, something like that.
Also, remember when he was playing golf at Penn State? We had someone who took golf class with him, and he would take 20-foot gimme putts.
Yes,
That's actually a horrible
Someone emailed us that. He threw 23 interceptions in the last 2 seasons. So that's, speaks to his decision making and all that. And then the other thing that I remember distinctly was his tape was very boring this last season. Because the year before, he could have come out and then he decided to stay in school and he did not do as well the year after. Obviously, he just was hurt for part of the season. His supporting cast was not as good. The coaching staff changed. So there was a lot of variables involved here, but he had very few. He had 7 big time throws, according to PFF, on the season, which was by far the fewest of the top quarterbacks in this class and one of the lowest rates in the country. So not only was his tape problematically full of turnovers, he didn't have any big plays either. So I don't know. Those were all the reasons I ultimately kind of soured on Levis during the draft process. That being said,
why was he for a moment there thought to be the number 1 pick in the draft? Give me the upside.
Yeah, and I was going to say, that being said, he does have very exciting traits. He has a big arm, he's athletic, he's big and tough. He's willing to stand in the pocket and throw in the face of pressure. There's a lot of things to like about him. He's very, very veiny. As
Blue
Craig
Mountain State
pointed out. Yeah,
he's 6'4", 215. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's built. He's got some Carson Wentz to him. You know what I mean? He looks the part in sense he's big, strong arm. Willing to put his body on the line. There's a lot of traits, I would say, that are exciting, but he just hasn't put it all together. He's also already 24. So I don't know. This is not a good offense either. We've seen Tannehill absolutely just, go down the shitter this year. And he's had a good track record of being a good quarterback in the NFL. So I don't know. This is a little bit scary for me if you're hoping that Levis is going to produce big time numbers in this offense.
He's also 6'4", 230, not 215. Sorry. He's quite
vascular.
Big. Yeah.
So for fantasy, you're playing Derrick Henry, and I have DeAndre Hopkins higher than you guys. I still think DeAndre Hopkins is going to get his targets. And when you're a rookie in your first game and the coach is ready you in your helmet, but then DeAndre Hopkins grabs you by the face mask and just throw me the fucking ball. I'm I still think DeAndre Hopkins is going to get 9 targets in this game. So I would still play him, but yeah, it's not scary.
So you're buying the rookie's just going to pepper the number 1 option thing?
When in doubt, throw to that guy who was really good when you were 14 years old. That's a good rule.
You know what this game is? I just realized the Titans, Falcons, Will Levis, Bijan Robinson. This is Mayo versus Mustard Bowl.
Stop.
It is. So, we got the Bijan mustard, which I believe he has his own mustard.
They do. And then, they both do have the. Wow, this is a good call. Yeah. So Levis pretended he put coffee in or mayonnaise in coffee, and then he actually. This is a great bit. He spun it into a Hellman's mayonnaise commercial where he pretended to sign with the mayonnaise, and then Bijan Robinson. His name's actually Bijan, but he got paid money by a Dijon mustard company, and now he goes by Bijan.
So now it's Bijan.
It's it's the real life version of Hulu has live sports, but it's Bijan mustard or Bijan pumping Dijon mustard. So wow, yeah, mustard mayonnaise. Wait,
Bijan has tangy mustard. That rolls right off the tongue.
Have you guys seen the commercial with Levis? He gets emotional.
It's too long. It's like a 2-minute press conference.
They could have edited that down.
Way too long.
It's like the Snyder cut of mayonnaise commercials.
It really is.
Oh my God.
It's kind of awkward. They needed one joke and then they could have gotten out.
Yeah, it's could have been an email.